Yes, let's take a look. I think that we're here. Let's see. Now, let me
So
double
tell us if
check.
anyone's watching.
What did you
Are
say?
we live right now, or what's going on?
Well, give me 1 second, babe. Jeez, so bossy. Hey, it's Jimmy Day. Yep, we're definitely live, and you definitely yelled at me on live stream. Thanks, babe.
Just wondering. I didn't know when we started.
That's okay.
Domestic violence is up right now. I'll just say that.
I gotta share the stream, guys. All right, well, why don't you two introduce yourself while I'm trying to stream everything real quickly here.
We're Day at Night Podcast team, official, and I'm Jack Schurck. I used to be a stand-up comedian, but now I just never leave my house.
That's pretty much the same for me, only my name's not Jack Schurck. It's Jimmy Day. We got a podcast. Check it out. If we're live right now, or if we're not, then we'll save it for later.
We are.
Okay.
We're live on Casually Mollie, and now we're live on the Day at Night podcast. So, yay. We're all here, gentlemen. How do we feel tonight? Feeling good?
Pretty good.
Feeling pretty good.
Friday.
Yep.
Love it.
Friday.
Drinking.
Love it. Drinking. Look at what are our drinking choices tonight? What's happening?
I got a 7 and 7.
All right. Jack.
Jameson with a big ice cube, so it looks fancy.
I was about to say.
I like the big ice cubes.
Yeah, all the difference.
I like it. Well, I've got my Casually Not Giving a Shit mug from the Casually Mollie podcast. That is what I am the host of. Exactly. For those of you who don't know. So I have been on Jimmy and Jack's podcast before, which was pretty fun. I was invited when I was in the other room, and I was in my pajamas, but it was a good time. So yes, but what I wanted to tell everybody here, it was kind of a cool idea we had to collaborate and do a partnership podcast episode. So thanks for everybody who's watching and tuning in for being so patient as we were trying to get everything up. My giveaway that I want to do every few episodes now is I know that we are going through some tough times with the COVID-19 coronavirus era. And so every few episodes, I would like to do a giveaway to somebody who donates to a charity of a choice that I just feel purely passionate about. The one that I chose, it is called LifeWise STL. Jimmy, Jack, I don't know if I told you guys this last year for my birthday weekend, I did a show at 5800, and LifeWise STL was the charity that was a part of it. And they're really helpful in kind of being instrumental in lives all the way from infancy into adulthood. And for people who are St. Louis natives, they're originally affiliated as the Kingdom House. So if anybody donates and you're the first person to send me a picture, you don't have to show me the amount of the donation, but if you send it to the inbox of the Casually Mollie podcast, I will put the link to the organization in the comments, but it's a St. Louis locally owned charity. And I think it's great that we support people and be local in our time. So I'll go ahead and put that there, but that's going to be my, my thing for this today. But we're going to start out kind of balancing out Casually Mollie and the Day at Night podcast. So I told the gentlemen I would ask them some casual questions. Jack, we'll actually start with you because I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Can I ask a little question
Yeah.
About the charity thing before
Yeah.
we move?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good person, so I've donated to a couple things as this pandemic has happened. And whenever it gets to the part where it says anonymous or put your name, for the donation,
Mm-hmm.
I select anonymous and then I go, fuck that. I want my name.
And then you change your name to all caps.
Yeah.
And
I make it bold and underlined.
Yeah.
What do you do? Have you donated anything?
Yeah,
So
I did the name too.
You did?
Yeah.
I
mean, depending on the charity, they might know you or they might not, I guess. But, Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just like to do it, obviously, because I'm casually a good person. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like that James probably did James Charles Day whenever he did his donations. So he had to throw that middle name in to make sure that people knew about it.
I put Jack Schurck, and then I put Dash, you're welcome.
It's the dash of his Venmo. It's okay.
Sorry,
hi, Cindy.
Derail ya.
Keep real. Oh, there's not derailing. Hey to Cindy Strickland. She's watching from Alabama. Thank you so
Cindy.
much. Hey,
yeah, I guess
Cindy.
Jack, we'll share the link too, so we look good.
We look good.
And we'll donate and we'll share it and try to get some, support for it also.
Speaking of looking good. Go ahead. What did you say, Jack?
Nothing.
I was just going to say, speaking of looking good, look at Jimmy's shirt that he has on.
Pretty awesome.
I was wondering if that was a joke or if that was like a genuine, like the shirt type thing.
Yeah,
it's
why don't you tell him?
It's kind of both. I went to H&M probably 2 years ago, and I saw this shirt, and I was like, I can pull that off. And I got it home, and I never wore it, and I hated it for a good year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I busted it out on a date with Mollie, and she wasn't too pleased.
Literally, well, here's the story, Jack. Here is the story for people that are watching, okay? He tries to make this sound so innocent, like, oh, I just didn't like this shirt. Then I busted out. He comes over, and he's like, do you want this shirt? This was before the date even happened. And I was like, no, that shirt is ugly. And so then he shows up with it on the date, and we went with his brother and his brother's girlfriend, and his brother Jake was like, oh yeah, he tried to pawn that shirt off on me too. So I don't feel special, you guys.
Does it have an anime character on it?
No, it's got like this dragon looking turtle down here though.
Oh, well now I like it, actually.
Yeah, it's got some birds and flowers and shit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Jimmy likes it. He's a fan. But I'll ask you, Jack, how are you casually surviving quarantine? I know that's the big question that everybody's been asking. But since I haven't seen you, what have you been doing? What have you been doing other than making a casual whiskey drink with a big ice cube that looks like something from the Moonrise Hotel? So.
Well, when quarantine first started, I was really, really busy with my real job.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw these people on Facebook like, oh my God, it's been 2 days. I'm so bored that I have to make this video of me doing something, posting it on Facebook. And I was like, I'm fucking not bored at all. I'm busy. And it sucked. And then that kind of calmed down. And I've just been, engaging and taking legal and illegal substances, and
whatever gets you through, really.
Making food. I made a nice Greek salad today.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, it's vegetables. I haven't had a vegetable in 6 weeks.
Oh my God. Yeah.
There's some peppers and stuff in there, a couple olives. I think it's pretty good for me. I don't know.
So you're basically becoming the next Gordon Ramsay master chef. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I wish. I love Gordon Ramsay.
Me too. He's a badass. I made Jimmy watch 3 seasons of Master Chef in a row. So he's like, oh my God.
I thought it'd be funny if on Master Chef Junior, he yelled at the little kids.
See, that's all the time.
The same way if he did on the regular show. Just like, you little fucker, you're doing this wrong.
You little piece of shit. That's not how you julienne carrots.
Get out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
Probably not good for ratings, but it'd be funny.
Oh my God.
Nobody's better than him at berating people. He's probably the best at flipping out that there is right now. Is John Tapper, or what's that guy, Tapper guy from?
from Bar Rescue.
Bar Rescue,
yeah.
yeah.
That's another quarantine
Still DVR that show.
Oh yeah,
that
all
guy's
the time.
pretty good too.
Oh,
yeah.
I love him. Well, because all those episodes are the same, and anybody that's tuning in kind of probably feels the same way. It's when you watch those, it's just so and so's at the bar. there's like, he's going to shut down the doors, open up the books, and make a call for help. It's like the same with like, I want to be a chef, and I've been wanting to be a chef ever since. Like everybody has the same like backstory, but I don't know like why like it just changes in me. But anytime John Taffer goes in, like Jimmy's like, babe, he does that every episode. And I'm like, go, John, tell him how it is.
It is
like,
the same show every time. But
and he's like, this is ridiculous. How could you do this? And things are being thrown around, and I'm like, scare them. And then at the end, everybody's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I acted like such an ass. And I'm like, you're on camera. I don't get it.
We did watch the one with
bars and
Marshawn
restaurants with Mark
yeah.
Lynch.
Yeah, he did. I was like, he's not going to yell at him. So he just yelled at the
Yeah,
other
at the
people.
restaurant?
He
was
like,
Marshawn's restaurant?
yeah, he owned it, and he had some family members like working there. So he just yelled at his family members and not at Marshawn Lynch.
You got to be careful around beast mode.
Yeah, he would fuck him up.
Yeah. That guy will like he'll like assault people like their character, you know. He'll be like, this is fucking terrible, and it's because you don't care, because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
It's really mean. But
That's
and then
that's the show.
You know, they just fail 2 months after he leaves anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I see. Jimmy says the same thing. He's like, babe, this place isn't going to succeed. I'm like, you never know. There was a place here that I had a fundraiser for my very first play I ever produced. I was like 24. And I did a fundraiser at this one bar. And I came back when I moved back to St. Louis. They were like, oh, Bar Rescue saved this bar. And so it's still there. It's just under a different name. It still works. So it's just, I think it kind of depends too on like the ownership and the people that run it. Just like any business, it's like you live and learn. What I will ask you guys too, just because to get people to a little know you from, since we are streaming this on my page as well, why don't you tell everybody a little bit how you guys got casually started in the Day at Night podcast? Because it's like a late night show themed. We didn't really showcase it on here, but how did you guys start? What came up with this idea? I don't even think I know, Jim. I don't think you ever told me this question or this answer to this question.
Yeah, we just talked about trying to do a podcast, and then we sat down a couple times and just kind of went over some ideas and recorded a couple things that didn't really seem to go anywhere. And then I think it was Jack's idea, kind of the format idea. And then we kind of played with it a little, and the rest is history, I guess.
And here we are.
You got anything to add, Jack?
Well, I already had podcasting equipment from a previous podcast.
Yeah, that was the big part of it.
Always a plus.
Jack had all the stuff.
Yeah. And I told Jimmy I'll show up, and you know, it's like a Tonight Show type thing, but basically I say a bunch of regrettable things and Jimmy picks which ones to edit out and which ones not to.
That's true. I've seen Jimmy edit. It's true. He's like, I'm gonna keep this.
I'm a little worried that this thing is live right now, so I will behave myself. Not say something and go, I didn't really mean that. I just was being a dick. Or
you're doing good so far, Jack.
I was about to say you're killing it. You know, you got the blinds closed now. It's night. You can do whatever you want. It's fine. So everything's here. What has been, and then we'll get into your guys' episode part of this too. What has been a quarantine story that you want to share with our live audience at this time? Everybody has their own, like, has something happened to you during quarantine? Did you have to go run errands during quarantine? What's something that was maybe a little crazy and out of the ordinary for you during this time that maybe people can relate to or not, or entertained by?
What's yours? Give me
I've got a good one. I was just talking about this today, actually. So, Jack, I think you know this. I work at a hotel, and that is considered essential by the Department of Homeland Security. But the thing is, like right now, it's anybody, like, you know, normally with hotels, people are coming to Grand Center to see shows. And for those watching, we're in St. Louis, so we're on lockdown, just like a lot of cities in the Midwest. And Right now it's been pretty slow. So like normally if something were to happen at the hotel, like I could go to the restaurant or I could go to the motorcycle shop, but it's just like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like no one's in the streets, like everything's dead. Like you're just like, what is happening? So I don't have a lot of guests in house. So I was like, I'll go take out the trash. I'll be a good person, which is always my famous last words. Like I'll be nice. It's fine. So I go to the trash, I go and put out the dumpster. And I go back to the door and I realized I left the doors locked and I locked myself out of my job. So I'm in like empty streets. There's nobody around. Like, I'm like, is anybody, like, I'm yelling, like, can anybody hear me in the building? Like, what's happening? And I found my key in my pocket and I was like trying to use it at different doors. I was trying to see, because it like the back door sometimes is a little fidgety. I looked in Triumph. I called like every other place I could. So I was like, oh man. And my AGM was going to be the guy that was going to get me off of my shift. So I was like, I can't have Steven show up and just have me sitting outside by myself like this. So I finally was like, let me just see what I can do. So I go to the back door and it finally opened, but I had the worst fear. I locked myself out of work, but I got in 20 minutes before my shift ended. So that was good. So that's mine.
Whenever I lock myself out of like my house or something, doesn't anymore because I have a little keypad thing, so I never have to have a key. But when I used to lock myself out of my house or my car, for some reason I got this idea that I could do MacGyver type things. Like somehow I would be able to figure out how to use a credit card or like scale my drain gutter or something. It's like, no, man, you're an idiot. You don't you're just screwed. Call somebody. And one time when I was 16 or 17, I had left my car running and locked the keys in the car twice.
No.
Work.
Nice.
I'm dumb. Anyway, my quarantine has been boring because I've been working from home, not doing comedy.
Yeah.
Doing some pretty horrible podcasts with Jim. I mean, really good podcasts that everyone should listen to.
Yeah.
But I set up, I've been hitting golf balls inside my house, but they're like little foam yellow ones. And one day I was looking up at above my doorway and I was like, what is this yellow stuff? Is this mold or something? And then I looked over at my golf balls and I was like, oh, I've painted half my wall because these golf balls are rubbing off on I didn't say it was going to be good. You can't edit this out. The problem with being live.
So your golf balls are like part of it is sticking to your walls because you're hitting them against the walls?
Because I pound the golf ball, I'm so powerful. I can show you. Going on a little field trip.
Oh, we're going on a field trip. Okay.
I don't know if this is going to be worth it, but let's see.
I think people are be like, we're in quarantine. This is the biggest field trip I've been on.
I got this.
That's pretty nice.
And
the putting green.
That curtain right there. Why is this thing in my way here? Okay. It freaked out when I unplugged my computer. That curtain, I hit the golf balls into it. And those are the golf balls, and they're yellow. And so I got spots all over my goddamn wall. I have to paint them or something. I don't think you really see them with the computer, but, Jimmy, what's your great story? Mollie's like, what's been interesting and exciting during quarantine? Nothing, lady. I've been doing nothing.
You made a Greek salad. That's something.
Yeah, I can give you guys that recipe if you want. It's pretty good.
I'm down.
Sounds good.
Send it to
Maybe
me.
you could try like one of those Mr. Clean magic erasers, Jack, on your wall. See if that takes it off of there.
Is that like
that's my recommendation? I don't know. Huh?
Is that like an infomercial product?
Yeah, I'm hoping we get sponsored by them, but I don't know. But mine I guess will involve both of us and golf. It's a real tie-in. We tried to go golfing. What was that, like a week and a half ago? And 2 weeks ago, and we showed up in Chesterfield to this place we had never been to, And Jack at this time had never left his house pretty much, so he was trying to be, really quarantined.
Oh, I just thought you meant leaving his house in general. I was like, I feel like Jack has left his house every once in a while.
At that point, he hadn't left a lot. He left a few times, but these people at the golf course didn't give a fuck about social distancing or
not surprised
wearing masks or anything. They were just like, the lady at the front desk sucked. Like, she wouldn't give us our own cards, which they're supposed to be doing. I was like, so you're not going to give us our own cards so we can stay away from each other? She's like, no, we don't have enough cards. And they booked the tee times right on top of each other. And everybody at the pro shop was just right next to each other, and it wasn't a good situation. So Jack was just like,
no,
fuck this, we're not going to play. And then we ended up coming back here for a minute, and we played in Wentzville because we got our own cart and everything there. And I sucked at golf until the last 3 holes.
Mind-blowing.
And then I was just like, man, I don't know, man. Like, what are we doing all this for? If people are, and now I don't even care. I'll go spit in someone's mouth right now.
Ew.
I don't know how many takers you're going to get for that, but we'll see.
Yeah,
if you get anything in the comments.
No, I haven't got any comments involving that. But what I'll ask you guys is too, like, where can we find you guys if you want to listen to the Day at Night
Fred
podcast?
Durst in the house, Spotify and iTunes currently, and we got a Facebook page, and we got Gmail, Day at Night Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, send us an email.
I love that you.
Yeah, Mollie, do you want to send us an email?
Do I want to send you an email? I just touched my face. I just love that you bragged about having a Gmail account, as if no one else has a Gmail account.
Yeah,
like you're
it's
like,
pretty exclusive.
We've got a Gmail account. I have
Not
a Casually
everyone can get
Mollie
one of
Gmail
those.
account too. Oh,
Yeah.
you can actually get multiple of those. Actually, we are indispensable. But what I will tell you guys is this: Jimmy and Jack, they are known for a little segment called Hot Takes. So I'll throw it. Whoever wants to start. What is the hot take that you want to talk about today during our time here on the podcast?
You want to go, Jack?
Takes. I forgot about my hot takes. I got to pull them up.
All right, well, I'll go, I guess. I also got to pull them up in my phone. But yeah, basically this segment is just rambling about whatever, a hot take on a certain subject. And I guess I'll go with mine here. Guys, I think this coronavirus thing is bad. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's a real bummer. Nobody has a plan. It's killing a bunch of people. We can't go anywhere. And I think we need a vaccine. So that's just to start it off, coronavirus is bad.
And my hot take is that Pop-Tarts are just pie.
Okay.
I agree with that. I do. Like, it's just
It shouldn't be breakfast food.
What do you
pie.
Go ahead. Well, but like in some other, like when I was in it being in Italy, a lot of people have dessert for breakfast and they don't even eat anything until like they have a big lunch. So I used to have cookies for breakfast when I lived and taught over there. So, you know what I mean? Like I used to take like cookies and I would have like a little bit of milk and like a little espresso. So, I mean, you could have pie for breakfast. I mean, we're in quarantine. I bet you, like Italy or not, a lot of people are having pie for breakfast. So
it could depend on the flavor though. Don't you think, Jack? Because I mean, not every flavor is pie.
No, I mean, they're all made out of pie crust pretty much.
Well, yeah, I guess that part of it, but like the filling is different.
I mean, you can go Bubba Gump shrimp on it, and we could name all the different types of pies. But I mean, give me an example.
Well, I got some s'mores in the pantry right now. That's not really a pie.
he does. No.
But I'm sure there's a s'mores pie.
Yeah, there probably is.
You know,
I
it's
guess
pie.
it's a thin
And
pie.
donuts are just cake.
Yeah, so are pancakes. It's in the name.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, that's my hot take.
That's your hot take.
I got another one is that baby corn is the most fun of all the baby vegetables.
Like baby corn? Wait,
you can eat it like real corn.
Like, are you talking just about like a tiny little stalk that you can have?
Have you never heard of baby corn?
No. What is baby corn?
I've heard of it. It's just the corn that's like this long. And
you just eat the whole thing. I have a can. I can go on another field trip if you need me to.
Oh, I'm okay. I just have not heard of baby corn. Like, I've heard of like corn on the cob, but like I've never
carrots, heard of... I guess. Or how many baby vegetables are there?
Baby spinach, not fun.
Spinach is terrible.
There's baby Brussels sprouts, which I enjoy, but you know, Brussels sprouts are typically like a food that kids hate, where people find disgusting, you know. Yeah, little corn, man. I love things that make me feel like a giant, you know, like those little cans of Coke, or like, you remember when Dean's Milk, they had the little quarts that looked like little miniature milk jugs with a little handle and everything?
I actually do remember that.
Not.
Oh my gosh.
Those. I wouldn't even buy a gallon. I'd just buy 6 of those so that I could feel like a Shaquille O'Neal for a day, you know?
That's a choice. All right. Yeah.
I got a couple more bullet points on my hot take too. Or do you want to do yours, Molly?
I mean, I can kind of go off of yours, Jim, because I
have a hot takes too.
Oh, do I have a hot take? Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have a hot take about masks because I know that's been sort of a thing. And I think that everybody should wear them. Obviously, I am pro wearing a mask. I don't understand what the problem is. But like, and this is going to sound horrible. People are going to be like, wow, Molly, coming from you, this is a little mean. But I'm like, these people are like protesting wearing masks. And like, these are the people I never wanted to look at their face on a regular basis. So I'm just like, please put on a mask because I don't want to look at you to begin with. Like, you're mean. You're not very nice. Just put it on, get your groceries. It's not a big deal. And then just like go home. So I just don't understand why people just won't wear them. Like,
it's a hot take.
Yeah, it's a hot take. So
I agree with that. And also, I've been seeing a lot of people wearing the mask, but they don't wear it over their nose. It's just like,
yeah.
And then like, what the hell's the point? I saw it again today. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, either wear it or don't, but don't wear it on half of your face. It's not
like go big or
good.
go home. Like, just wear it over your face, protect yourself, and like just do your thing. You can also do like stylish things with this. Jimmy's mom hooked us up with some pretty cute masks, and then I sent my parents because my mom's like, we can't find any anywhere. So I supported a local place. I think it's called STL Style, and they've been doing these masks that have the St. Louis flag on them. So I sent those 2 of them to my mom and my dad, so that way they'll be able to wear them and feel safe. Because Jimmy and I sent them stuff from Menards, but just in case those eventually fall apart, we'll just have them wear those. But that's like, that was my first hot take. My second one is now I am just like, when it comes to selfies, post whatever you want on your page. I told Jimmy this the other day. That's why he's laughing. If you like, I know there's days where we're like feeling ourselves. I get it. Like, you know, it's a great day. But for some reason, there are 2 selfies that bother me. And like the first one is, it's like the seatbelt selfie in the car where like you're like either at a stoplight or you're driving and you have to take a picture of yourself. And then the other one is like, when people like are taking a picture of themselves in the mirror because they have like a shirt that they have to show off for some reason, but like it's really not about the shirt, it's how they look in the mirror. So I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? By the way, Kate says she loves the progression of your show, or of your fro, Jim. Kate Barton, St. Louis-based comedian.
I think that was a compliment in some ways, but
it was. She thinks you look like Corey from Boy Meets World. So.
Okay. It is getting pretty long. It's getting pretty long. And I also shaved, and Jack made no mention of how good it looked, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see?
No beard.
No beard.
Wow.
No beard.
And I'm trying to grow this shitty beard.
Yeah, switched it up.
Well, So what was your hot take? I blacked out.
I just have a
about the
thing about
selfies.
selfies, like
Oh,
selfies
the
that are in the car
selfie.
with the seatbelt, and selfies where you take a picture of the mirror and you're trying to share, like, oh, I'm showing off my outfit, but like you're kind of, I don't know. It's just like it's a weird thing for me. And I think it just depends on who's taking the mirror selfie. Because I've taken a few in my lifetime, but then there are some people who are like, oh, I just have this t-shirt I have to show off, but really their face just looks really good. So that's
I think
why.
the only one I've ever taken is when I was wearing this shirt. It was in the
That's
mirror,
true.
so everybody could get a full, the full grasp of how awesome it is. But I'm not a big selfie taker, but I do agree it gets a little excessive.
True. What
Jack
about you,
loves
Jack?
selfies, though.
Yeah, are you feeling
I
yourself?
think I look like Kevin Smith when I do this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, selfies, they're for losers. Is that a hot take?
That's a
Yeah.
hot take.
That's
There
a
you
hot
go.
take.
I got a
Hot
secondary bullet point on my hot take. If we're
Oh,
going,
Jimmy's like, wait a minute, I got a bullet point. Hold on.
It's back to the Rona. I still think it's overblown, and I got some numbers that might change some people's minds. Obviously it's bad. It's not good when people are dying, but there's been 78,198 people die in the United States, and Busch Stadium holds 45,538 people. So really, it's only like one and a half baseball games attendance that have died in one city. So I'm saying it's small potatoes in the grand scheme of things.
When you like that, though, it makes it seem worse. You're like, imagine 2 Busch stadiums full of people and they all died. It's not that bad, right?
It's not really that bad, though, because if there's, 300 million people in the United States, is that right? That sounds right?
All right, let's move on to my next hot take.
I think we should.
I got one more stat, and then you go to your own.
Okay.
Just for St. Louis, to keep it on the, the death in the city.
Right.
159 people have died in St. Louis, and in 2019, 194 people were murdered. So, how about that? Get on it and quit murdering people, St. Louis.
This is not what our podcast is like, people.
I was about to say.
It's more like me saying something like, I think the word gourmet is overused.
That's true. It's usually more light.
Yeah. One time I was in Quick Trip and I saw little chocolate donuts, and they were the off-brand. They weren't even the Hostess kind. And they said gourmet chocolate donuts. And I was like, if we're calling some off-brand donuts at Quick Trip gourmet, then we're nothing anymore.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you describe as gourmet. I mean, listen, it's all about plating and delivery. If I buy some donuts from the Quick Trip and I just put them on a plate, like no one would know. Like they'd be like, where'd you get these? I'd be like, oh, this fancy place downtown. Gourmet. Like I feel like we talk about this all the time. Like I am so over like people when they're like, oh, I use my crock pot and I'm basically like a cook. Let me blog about like 5 paragraphs of this. But if you make some of your crock pot, you could just say you were just cooking it all day and then you just put it out on a plate and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm basically a chef. So it's like a win-win situation. Who knows?
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I agree with you, Jack.
Presentation can change things.
Well, maybe what would be your definition of gourmet, gentlemen?
I don't think I've ever had anything that's gourmet in my life.
There you go. That's pretty much my same sentiment.
What?
Like fancy.
I can't think of a single thing.
Gordon Ramsay would cook you a gourmet meal, but like you can't get something gourmet from Burger King. I mean, it's like a fanciness level. But now it's just like, it's like how people say literally when it's not literally. But now people can just do that because everyone's like, yeah, whatever. Tired of fucking defending it.
Yeah, I think I've heard the phrase gourmet hot dogs too, which is kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
It's not gourmet. It's a fucking hot dog.
Well, like, aren't they trying to make a pun out of it though? Like, it's not just like your regular hot dog with ketchup and mustard. You're adding like all these fancy things to it. So it's
I think
gourmet
they just
hot
do
dog.
that so they can charge more, but it's really just still the worst part of the animal ground up into a hot dog. But I don't know. I'd hope to have something gourmet one day, but I haven't seen anything yet.
I never looked up what the word means, and the food is not gourmet.
Is price involved?
No, it said, well, maybe there's a different adjective definition, but this says a gourmet is a connoisseur of good food or a person with a discerning palate. So as long as you're a gourmet, then you can just label things gourmet, it sounds like.
And listen, I just Googled gourmet and it said gourmet to go. So that's also a thing now. I mean, the world is changing.
It is.
So if you can do curbside pickup, you could do a curbside pickup or gourmet to go meal.
I had gourmet Chick-fil-A earlier. It's pretty good.
Sounds good to me.
They actually got their shit together though. I'm gonna trying to get another sponsor here, but Chick-fil-A, they had like people outside taking your order before you got to the window, and they had 2 rows of like drive-through, and it looked like a long line, but I got through it pretty fast. So yeah. Chick-fil-A people,
they're pretty efficient. I ordered some hair clippers today, and I was gonna cut my own hair on your show, but it turns out they have to charge for 24 hours before I can use them. But I think what I'm going to do here is really kind of show you how.
What's your plan for this self haircut?
Yeah.
So the clippers have a little guard thing that it does an inch. So I'm going to do that the whole head, 1 inch long. And then I'm going to do a different guard. And I'm going to do like shorter and then another one and shorter. And then, try my best back here. I don't really have a plan for the back of my head.
That's fair.
Do they have numbers on the guards?
Yeah, they're color coded too. So if you're an idiot like myself, you can't fool yourself with it. I just go, hey, blue is 1 inch. Yeah. And I put it on there and
That's like one thing I don't think I could do by myself is cut. I tried to cut my own bangs one time, like when I was, like 3 or 4 years ago. And there's these pictures of me and I have like these baby bangs that are just like up to here. But luckily it was like a style at the time. Oh, see, look, guys, my hair is still, look, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But I was in my bathroom and I was like broke, very broke. And so I was like, I'll just do it myself. And I was doing pretty well. And then all of a sudden my like scissors went, doop, and I just had this like weird thing. So I had all this hair all over the floor. It was the wrong choice, but it was definitely a bold choice for sure, style wise. Not as bold as Jimmy's, hair, but it's getting there.
This is all natural. I haven't made any cuts
maybe
yet. I'll see how Jack's hair looks before I try it myself.
Maybe he's born with it.
If I had hair that froed out like that, I would do Will Ferrell from that basketball movie style hair. Just big old afro.
It's getting there. I mean, I'm halfway there.
I'm a greaseball, so I can't do long hair.
But you never know. Quarantine may change you.
Italian.
Aren't our haircut places open now or not?
No, I don't think that anything is going to open until, at least from what I've seen, some places will be open May 18th, but I think that there's going to be different protocols and whatnot, and like how many people that they're going to take in at a time, which is understandable.
Yeah, you can't really.
They're open in St. Charles County.
Well, that could work then. But I mean, if you're cutting somebody's hair, you can't like wear gloves or like social distance. You kind of gotta.
Well, I was reading this blog from a lady today, actually, and I can't remember if she was in Georgia. It was somewhere down south, and she was saying how her salon's going to be having like those glass visors, just because those apparently protect you from the coronavirus a little bit more than like a regular mask per se. But yeah, that's what they were saying, is that they're probably going to wear those, and then like you have to clean and wipe down your station, so they won't be able to take as many people as they used to originally. So I think it's just going to be an adaptation. I think everybody thinks just to a new world. Where did Jack go?
We lost Jack.
We lost Jack. He left the building. But yeah, is there anything, Jim, that you want to get done while you're in quarantine? I know everybody's like, oh, I want to read a book, or I want to work on something. Do you have a goal during being on lockdown that you want to have accomplished?
Just want to get this house put back together.
That's true. He is
doing
working
some
on
renovations, and it's a pain in the ass.
Gotcha.
But how about you?
So honestly, I've been trying to read more. So I one of my reads has been, you saw it the other day, but Jack doesn't know. I love Jen Kirkman, the comedian, and she has a book, and it's all the I forget I can't remember the title of it right now, but it's like Other Lies I Tell Myself. And it's she has a book that was a prequel to it. And then this is the other one. And it's hilarious. She's so funny. She talks kind of like how she became a comedian and her ups and downs with relationships and people. And it's pretty relatable during this time when you're trying, I feel like everybody has a lot of questions right now. And a lot of people are in limbo. And she was talking about kind of like how she was trying out different relationships and how she was in limbo at certain parts. And I was like, oh, I feel like everything not to get so deep here, but I feel like everything happens at a certain time to read something. And I got that book a year ago, and now I'm reading it, and it just relates to exactly what I'm going through right now. So Jack, what about you, though? What are you going to try to get accomplished during quarantine, if you have any goals that you are trying to do?
I just downloaded FIFA 2020 on my Xbox, so I'd like to get good at that.
Okay.
So,
sounds fair.
And then finish my memoirs, probably.
I like it. Memoirs.
Yeah. If we should do a little friendly wager on when you think the next time you'll be on stage doing stand-up again?
Oh man, I know I missed doing
That's
stand-up.
Depressing.
I cried the other day. I did. I was like, I don't know when I'm going to perform again. I'm so sad. I think Jimmy's disgusted with me about how many times I've cried I think I started out super strong during this quarantine. I was like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to be really happy. And then every day I'm I'm really sad. I don't know what's going to happen.
I have heard that a lot, but I mean,
and he's
it's
stop being so mopey. And I'm but I don't know. I feel like if I say something, I may jinx it. So I'm not sure yet.
I'm going to say November.
Will you be going on stage if you have to wear a mask and the audience has to wear masks and all the tables are 6 feet apart, so the room is a third of the way full? Are you signing up for that?
I guess.
I mean, I'm open to anything that is helpful, I mean, you guys know me. That's what I would, I have to kind of see, it's all about the club's protocols and what they want to put in place. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of world we're going to live in. That's why I feel weird answering this question, because I don't know if I have an answer. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think doing a show like that would be pretty awful. Probably be up there with the open mic at Babylon that Jim used to run.
Jack, that was one of the first nights I met you, was when you, Scott James, who's another local comedian here, when you guys were all doing that show, and it was the night of the opening Blues game, and you guys were performing, or the playoffs.
The Blues playoff game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think it was opening night.
Oh, see,
Maybe it
season
was. I
opener,
can't
yeah.
remember. It was just like, I remember we're in Babylon. I've never been before. There's all these people. And Jack and I are just sitting having like an appetizer. I'm just drinking a whiskey. And all of a sudden, these like loud people are next to us. And like Jack made some joke. And this guy turns around to me and goes, "Fuck your friend." I was like, what? I was like, well, you know, we all have different opinions. And then by the time Scott James got up, like I couldn't even hear what he was saying. Like everybody was so loud, like screaming for the game. It was crazy. So I literally was like, "Great job." And Scott was like, "I know you couldn't hear me, Mollie, but I do appreciate
You had the
trying
best
to be
spot
nice."
that night, Jack. Like I went up and bombed, and then you went and you did like okay. And then by the time Scott got up, it was so fucking loud you couldn't even hear him. And the speakers were
Yeah.
pretty big.
Anyway, so do you want to do that? When Because I think it'll be an equal level of like horribleness to
Look at this hat. You gonna wear this hat on stage?
probably. Look at how good that looks. It only fit over these. There we go. Now I look like some sort of pirate or something.
Oh, because pirates wear top hats?
I don't know. It's sideways. I know. There we go.
You look like the Monopoly guy who lost all his money and lost his monocle. And
You kind of do.
Casino Queen.
But is anybody else throwing a month out there on this thing, or am I the only one?
I think you're the only one, unless Jack has something.
I'm going with it'll probably be 2021 before we can do normal shows without masks. And I will probably get on stage once or twice pre-normal and be like, "I can't take this. I can't do it." And that'll be in October.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
I told you this was going to be depressing. Nobody knows, but that's not a bad guess.
Let's talk about something uplifting here. I think I always find it funny because people all the time are always like, "Oh my God," when you're on, I mean, you guys have been approached as comedians, like what happens when something goes wrong? Because like things are live. And we just talked about the story that happened at Babylon. But Jack, do you have a story where maybe you were performing and something didn't go quite as planned as you hoped it would be?
No. Flawless performances.
I'm perfect.
One time this lady, I have this joke, you guys know it, the one about, I saw a bumper sticker that said, "My child has 4 paws." And I realized that the bumper sticker on the lady's car meant that no one wants to fuck this woman, blah, blah, blah. And there was this lady in the front row that said, she was Russian or something. She said, "I have this sticker on my car. You think no one wants to have sex with me?" And then I just finished my joke because it kind of lined up perfectly and it murdered,
Yeah, I think we played that on our podcast. So if anybody wants to hear the that
little that
sequence of events or whatever, it's on there.
And then I almost called Brendan Eyre. I almost forgot his last name. Barely pulled it out the last minute when I was bringing him on stage. I think that's about it.
Gotcha.
I mean, I bombed. That sucked.
Well, everybody has. What about you, Jim?
There's like 1,000 times at Babylon's open mic that didn't go according to plan, but did one of those helium shows where it was like a roast thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys remember those, but I didn't really know what the format was or anything, so I showed up and didn't do well and just got heckled by the audience and the other comedians and bombed and I think I'm better at handling that stuff now, but it wasn't good at the time. Couple
Oh yeah.
3 years ago or something.
Oh, absolutely. I can understand that feeling. I didn't have that happen. I don't know if it happened at Helium. I can't remember which one it was, but I remember there was this one time that I was like starting out comedy, and this guy saw my bag because it said like girl boss or something. And so he goes, "Oh, she seems like
Girl boss."
What a nerd. Is that what he said? You're a fucking nerd over here.
Oh no, it got real creepy. They were having dinner. Oh, it was at Helium, and they were having dinner at Weber's Grill. And they were like, "Oh, what a fun person. Let's all go downstairs and watch the show." So everybody's like, "Oh, that's really cool, Molly. You like brought people." And I was like, "Oh, I don't even know who these people are." So they kept trying to like make conversation with me and like talk with me. And then when I did my set, I don't think that they were very impressed by it. So afterwards, like the guy who liked my bag was like, "Yeah, girl boss." But like his wife and her friends were like, "No." Walked away and left. I think when I started talking about Plan B and all these things, they were like, "No, thank you."
Maybe they were just like jealous though or something. They're like, "Stop talking to that slut, Jeff. Go." You know?
I want to
Maybe
get
that was
a.
all that.
I'm gonna get a
Maybe
fanny
like,
pack that
She's
says
funny,
boy
but she's
boss.
trying to steal my man.
Boy boss. Oh,
Fanny pack with boy boss. I could sell 1 million of those.
yeah, a day at night.
Should we start
man.
doing merch for the podcast?
If you want to sell like a handful of
Fanny pack
t-shirts,
merch.
Yeah,
that fanny pack boy boss idea is not bad.
boy boss.
You could sell those hats. Slap a day at night sticker on that hat. It's worth $20.
Yeah. I could slap some. I could put that on there right now if I had a piece of paper.
Top hat merch.
We'll just try to, I can maybe put one on this shirt or something. Let's just grab stuff from our house that we don't want anymore, put a sticker on it, and see if anybody wants to buy it.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Merch shop, used thrift shop, merch shop.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to think of ways to make $1 million. Haven't thought of one yet. You got any ideas, Molly?
So no, otherwise I'd be out of here. Literally, I would be worth $1 million, and I would have other things on the horizon right now. So, but alas, I am in my artistic loft, wondering what happened with my life. It's okay. Oh well, I know.
Are you really?
I am. I'm in my loft right now.
No, but I mean, you're worried that you've messed up your entire life now.
No, you know what it is? It's like I think that like I don't know. I'm being dramatic. I don't think I've had messed up my entire life at all. I just hope that after this I'll be able to still like, explore and do things that I've wanted to do. Because I've always had like a huge list of things that I've wanted to accomplish, and I think everybody thinks that. I hope that I can still do those things. So, but no one wants to hear about that. But yeah,
that was positive. That was good.
That was positive. We'll see. What
I agree.
So what are our plans for the podcast? What are the Day at Night boys have planned after this is said and done? Are we going to see any live shows from y'all in the future?
On the internet like this?
Yeah. Or even in person
like this. We could just go post up at like a Walmart or something right at the door and just yell at people and, get guests as they walk in to buy produce. But I don't know. We're open to everything. But we'll see what happens, I guess. I got a feeling that Trump's just going to reopen the country and then,
if we did
see what happens.
Go out there and protest with everyone, we would probably get some good publicity. So I'm not entirely against it.
Why did the people protesting need the guns? I didn't quite understand it.
No, they're all crazy. I don't know what they're thinking.
They're like, I mean, you can protest, I guess, but I mean, the guns seem like a little overkill. That's a hat right there. Other way. There it is.
Ranting. That's
Day and
merch.
Night Podcast. There we go. There's some merch right there. Okay.
That is merch.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, there we go. So what else is new, guys?
I know. What else is new? Well, we've got like 5 minutes left on our hour here that we've got going on. So what would you, if we had the 5 minutes here left on this podcast, what would you want our audience to know?
5 minutes left on Earth?
Well, I mean, Earth podcast at this
Oh,
time.
If you only have 5 minutes left on Earth, you should spend it watching or listening to the Day and Night podcast.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it, and you're not going to regret it.
That's the exact same thing that I would say.
We got musical guests, we got interviews, we got monologue jokes, we got banter, we got funny games and hot takes and fake
Who's
commercials.
been your favorite? What's been your favorite musical guest? Who's been your favorite musical guest that you've had on?
Oh man.
Or do you just like all of them?
I try to pick a song. Yeah, I try to pick a song that I like. I usually play a lot of rock songs, and had some interaction with a couple of the bands on Twitter and stuff. They kind of seem to like give me the okay to play them and stuff. So that's kind of cool. Mourners, their song was pretty good. They kind of gave me a shout out, and this other guy made fun of me for the way I worded that he was on the podcast on Twitter. And I was just like, all right, bro, this is whatever.
I think we should delete that episode. We should replace him.
Well, it's supposed to be a live audience and a live show. So the way I've had it written on the Twitter post was something like, watch or listen to whatever band perform. And then he was like, oh, I didn't know I performed on a podcast. And I was like, dude, like, whatever. And I sent him a message like, it's a fake thing. And then I don't know. It was fine.
I think, I don't think he understood when you guys do those
He
live
obviously
things
didn't.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He obviously didn't
hear
listen to it at
yeah.
all.
So he was like, no, that's what he said. He's like, my band performed without me knowing. And Jimmy's like, no, it's like a late at night format and stuff. I think like his approach, or like, I don't know, sometimes those things on Twitter can get like a little twisted because people like say things and maybe they don't mean it as aggressive as it comes off, or who knows, maybe they do. I'm not sure. I don't really tweet a lot, so I don't know about that. But yeah, cool. Well, where can we find you guys on social media if we want to follow you?
I'm at Jimmy C. Day on Instagram and Twitter. And the podcast is Day at Night Pod on Twitter and Day at Night Podcast on Instagram.
Sounds good.
Jack probably has stuff too.
Yeah, Jack, where can we find you?
Google Jack Schurck.
There's probably more than one Jack Schurck in the world.
There's only one, and he lives in the Philippines. And I think he's stolen my identity because I don't see that being a common name over there. I think he'd identity thieved me, probably.
These are the problems of quarantine. Jack thinks he may have identity theft over in a completely different country. So like,
I Googled my name, and then I had to go to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror, and I said, am I Filipino? And I wasn't. So
yeah, I don't think you are.
my credit score is still pretty good. 250. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think 100 is good, So
100 is 100%.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Sounds good to me. Well, this was kind of fun collaborating. What are you guys going to casually do now once this is all done?
I'm going to go make another mixed drink probably.
I'm going to cut my hair in 9, 10, 11, 12 in 3.5 hours. That baby's going to be charged up.
Gotcha.
You're gonna have to post a before and after.
Yeah, I might try to film it, because then if it turns out good, I can be like, "This is how you cut your own hair." Get some YouTube hits or something.
If it turns out bad, you're gonna give me more hits. So. Yeah.
Look how rosy my cheeks are.
They are pretty rosy. That's true.
I thought I put makeup on.
You know what I was casually reading today, actually? So, like, you know, this will actually end this on a positive note. So I was laughing my ass off because there was when like you get on your phone, there's like a news app and it'll say like, oh, here's something about the pandemic, or here's like a list of like things that are happening. And I forget, I think I have it on my Instagram story. Just give me 1 second. We're all going to get a good laugh out of this. Let's see. It says coronavirus. This llama is a potential savior. Her blood could behold a weapon to blunt the virus. And I was like, if this llama saves all of us during this, like my whole 2020 is going to be redeemed. Like there's apparently a llama named Winter, and her they've been studying her antibodies that like some of them are probably in the coronavirus. So her blood could possibly save all of us and help get a vaccine.
Well, I'll say this.
One little llama.
If that llama saves us all, then llama gonna be very happy.
Oh God.
And that's the kind of jokes that you can hear on the Day at Night podcast.
And on their merch and fanny packs and top hats. It's gonna say a llama be happy.
Llama be very happy.
Oh my God, that was the best thing. I love how Jack and I are like dead and Jimmy's not impressed.
That probably would have been edited out on ours, but it's good for this one, you know. Good job, Jack.
Jack's like, what?
Day at Night cup.
Day at Night. Oh yeah, Day at Night cup. But guess who
Chick-fil-A
has the
cup.
legit cup?
There you go. That one's a little more professional.
If you send a donation and let me know, I'll send you a care package from the Casually Mollie podcast. Oh, and I wanted to ask you guys too, what have you all been casually streaming during this time to help quarantine go by? Like what's something on Netflix that you've watched that's been really good?
Well, pornography has got to be number one. 2, I watched, all the hits, Tiger King, and there's one other one that's super popular, right? I feel like
documentary? I don't know.
Oh, maybe that McDonald's thing is what I was thinking.
McMillions.
McMillions. We watched that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you guys should definitely watch that.
If you've got something good, I'm all ears.
Yeah, I told Jimmy I watched a documentary on Hulu and it was called The Inventor, and it was out for blood in Silicon Valley, and it's about Elizabeth Holmes and the downfall of the company Theranos. And I didn't realize that at first I was like, man, she talks like super low. But I talked to my friend Kate and she goes, not Kate Barton, but another Kate that I'm friends with, that Kate Barton's jealous. I have another friend named Kate. But she was like, oh yeah, she did that on purpose because she thought it would take people, if she thought it would make people take her more serious. And it was very weird. I was like,
Ozarks.
Allie's watching Ozarks.
That's my sister. I haven't watched the new season yet. Have you guys watched the new season yet?
I haven't seen any of that. I need to get on that.
Oh, it's a good show.
Yeah.
You would like it a lot.
What was the lady's name from the HBO thing?
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She looks like this kind of, right?
Yeah,
so she was trying to do, she was trying to just throw her voice, so where people wouldn't recognize.
No, she thought if she talked deeper, she wanted to basically be dress-wise like a Steve Jobs, and she was like, but if I talk deep, people will take me seriously. So she's like, yeah, I'm Elizabeth Holmes. If you have a deep voice, that's totally fine. But it's different when it sounds natural versus when somebody's just doing it to be a complete lunatic, but they think it's helping them out. So yeah, it was a very weird, but yeah, the reason why Theranos just fell through was because they basically show in that documentary that like the red carpet part of it, where she was like meeting with powerful people and like doing Instagram accounts and like quotes and all this stuff. Scott James, has anyone said Jimmy looks like the singer from Greta Van Fleet yet?
Take that as a compliment, Scott. It's a good band, good looking
he
guy.
Loves that band. Scott James, we were actually talking about you earlier and your killer performance at Babylon when the Blues opening night game was playing, and it was great. Just going down memory lane here, but total nightmare now. But it was like crazy how she's like Instagramming and she has her like favorite quotes and stuff, and it just kind of shows like being around like influencers and social media like kind of makes the outside world think that you're like great, but all of her tech people were like being silenced, being sued, being told like don't talk or you're gonna lose your job and all these things. So it's crazy. I told Jimmy it's like a crazy 2 hours, but like I went through it so quickly. So
Mollie, how deep can you make your voice go?
not very deep. Like my voice has actually gotten deeper. When I was younger, it was a little bit higher, but like, I don't know, I could probably go like, hello, Jimmy Day. I try to do a Jimmy Day impersonation and I don't do quite well. The only one that he disagrees with me on was that one time I was making us dinner, and this is like when we were first dating, so you like actually care about if they're going to eat it or not. And so I turned to Jimmy and I was like, hey, do you want any green beans? And he does one of these. He's like sitting watching the TV and he goes, that is like my least favorite food.
That is a spot on impression right there. That's what I did.
That is not my voice.
Oh my God. That's my least favorite food.
That is straight up what it was like. I said, you were so sassy over these green beans. I was like, all you have to say is no, thank you. But he was like, oh, no. And I was like, what the hell?
I've never seen Jimmy ever talk like that before in my life.
It's because I haven't.
Yeah.
Just ask him if he wants green beans, and man, it's like a whole other story. Okay, the snap is pushing it. I'm just talking about.
All right. Well, I think I remember that a little different, but I've been watching The Last Dance on ESPN. I don't know if you can stream it or not, but 2 episodes come out every Sunday, and it's pretty awesome. It's about the 90s Bulls and Jordan. They really go into detail about a lot of stuff, and I'm a big fan. So that's what I've been watching.
It's true. He has. I had him put it on pause so that way we could go eat outside, which is another thing. I've been trying to get us to eat outside, Jack, and Jimmy's all like, but can we sit and watch TV if we go and eat outside? I'm like, or we've been inside all day. Let's get some fresh air. Like,
I hate eating outside though. There's always bugs and stuff, and it's like
my table's pretty dirty. Like we haven't cleaned it off yet. We're just like, I guess if our food won't roll off of our
haven't cleaned it, meaning Jimmy hasn't cleaned it. I'd like wipe it off and try to make sure it's like I try to like make the most out of this quarantine, and Jimmy's like, or we can just sit inside. See, he does that. He talks like
another spot. Jimmy, we can just sit inside. Bitch.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That is a spot-on impression of you.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna get this on film one day, and Jimmy's always
you
like,
won't.
I'm not
You're never gonna get that on film.
And now you're growing your hair out like an 80s lady. Like
lady is a bit
Designing Women or something.
Ladies.
You remember that show? Designing Women with Delta Burke?
No.
That must be the age difference.
Yeah.
Wait.
I look awesome, and I don't talk like a girl, and I'm not sassy about green beans.
Yes, he does. He is so sassy about green beans. Let me tell you, any vegetable.
I don't like them, but yeah.
Maybe you
It's
should
on.
try
Wait, what?
Maybe what?
baby corn.
Oh my God, we're back. I love you guys are like, you guys don't know what baby corn is. I'm like, no, I have no idea what it is.
I can't believe that.
I don't know. I know what it is, but I don't know many people that eat it.
That's one of the nice outcomes of the coronavirus is I've been getting my groceries delivered and I was just browsing around and I was like, baby corn. Haven't had that since New Year's Eve party in grade school or something that my parents had, you know? It's a very outdated vegetable, I think. It's not very in style.
Well, clearly I don't know about it. And I've
Maybe
got
we can get a
plenty of style.
sponsor. We can get baby corn to sponsor us, maybe.
If we could get baby corn,
We can get
pretty big.
anybody.
we can do anything. If we can get the baby corn people on, the baby corn union workers to support us too, that's like they're small workers, but there's a lot of them because they got to pick so many of those corns. All right.
Okay.
Oh man. Well, I think we gotta
podcast.
listen to the Day at Night podcast. Obviously, listen to Casually Molly with yours truly, Molly Ambergy. I usually do different interviews with people each week, but this week we thought it'd be fun to collaborate our podcast and partner because that's what we got to do at this time is create some unity and have Scott James leave us sassy comments in the comments that we all agree with. So that's good. Right, James?
I mean, I'll take it. It's not bad.
He left that comment and left.
Yeah, I think
sure.
he probably did, to be honest. Well, I will give him that. He left a comment. So Scott and I ended up in a live stream together, but we realized we were the only two watching. So he was like, Molly, we're the only two in this live stream, and then we both left.
Is there any way to tell if anyone's watching us?
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. So, but I know that people have watched, so we're good to go on that for sure.
My mom just texted me, "How are you doing? We haven't heard from you." ...
Well, so she should be watching this stream.
She probably saw you wearing this hat and is worried about you.
I said, Mom, if you want to hear what's up with me, then you've got to tune in to this charity podcast, which I don't agree with. Oh boy.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end this here, which is fine. But I appreciate you guys merging with me, and we can just find you guys on Apple and Spotify.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. You can find me on our YouTube page for the Casually Molly podcast. Go ahead and YouTube that at any point. Molly spelled with an IE. You can find us on all streaming services. But I appreciate this, gentlemen, and you have a great rest of your night. Everybody be casually safe during this time. We look forward to doing another one soon.
Thanks, Molly.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.